Let me tell you a truth most people never understand. A bully is never born. A bully is built. Not from strength, not from confidence, but from something far darker. Every bully carries a story they will never post, never admit, never speak. A story filled with quiet humiliations, hidden wounds, and a violence that started long before they ever laid a hand on someone else. And here is the part nobody wants to hear. A bully is not driven by power. A bully is driven by fear, not fear of others, fear of themselves. Today, we're going to peel back the layers, not to excuse them, but to understand the twisted psychology of why some people hurt others just to feel whole again. Because once you understand the mind of a bully, you'll never see them the same way again.
Most people think bullying begins with cruelty, but that's not true. Cruelty is the surface. Underneath is emptiness, a missing piece, a fracture in the identity. A bully is usually created in three ways. 1. The child who was humiliated. Humiliation is one of the most powerful psychological wounds a person can experience. It doesn't just hurt, it rewires the personality. Children who experience constant criticism, emotional neglect, public embarrassment, unstable affection, unpredictable punishment, grow into adults who believe the world is a threat. So what do? They learn to attack first. Bullying becomes a shield. 2. The invisible child. Some bullies weren't abused, they were ignored. No praise, no attention, no emotional guidance. You know what that creates? A person who believes the only way to be noticed is to cause damage. For them, fear becomes a form of validation. 3. The child taught dominance. Some bullies are raised in homes where dominance equals strength, sensitivity equals weakness, control equals love. They learn that the person with the loudest voice controls the room, so they grow up to replicate the only power they've ever seen. Bullying is not confidence. It is inherited insecurity.
Here's something unsettling. A bully acts like they think they're better than everyone, but internally, they believe they're worse. This is called the narcissistic mask, a psychological armor people build when they cannot face who they truly are. A bully's entire personality is built around avoiding one feeling: inferiority. Every insult they throw, every attack they make, every intimidation attempt is actually a defense mechanism, because if they stop attacking, even for a moment, the truth might surface. They don't think they matter. Here is a dark secret. Bullying is addictive, not because hurting others feels good, but because it temporarily silences the bully's inner chaos. Psychologically, bullying triggers adrenaline control, momentary superiority, emotional release, distraction from inner pain. It becomes a cycle. Pain, attack, relief, shame, more pain, which means the bully is actually trapped. They are fighting you, but they are also fighting themselves. A bully never chooses randomly. They pick people based on 3 subconscious criteria. 1. People who mirror their fear. Bullies can smell insecurity because they live inside it. They target people who reflect a part of themselves they can't accept. 2. People who won't fight back. Bullies calculate risk. They want control, not challenge. They avoid strong opponents. 3. People others won't defend. A powerful truth: bullies don't pick the weakest person, they pick the least protected one. This is why quiet people, isolated people, overly kind, people who avoid conflict become targets. Not because they're weak, but because the bully assumes they're alone. Most bullies have one thing in common: an emotional world they cannot regulate. They struggle with shame, abandonment, fears, identity, confusion, self-hate, emotional numbness, suppressed rage. These internal storms become external aggression. They don't bully because they feel powerful. They bully because they feel powerless everywhere else. And here's the twisted part: a bully is often more afraid of you than you are of them.
Every bully eventually reaches a moment when the mask cracks. It usually happens when they meet someone they cannot intimidate. Someone finally understands them. Their internal self-hate becomes unbearable. Their greatest fear becomes real: being seen. This moment is either transformation or destruction. Some bullies change. They face their shame. They rebuild. Others double down. They become more aggressive, more defensive, more desperate to maintain the illusion of power. Section 7. The adult bully, the most dangerous kind. A bully does not disappear after childhood. They evolve. Adult bullies become controlling partners, hostile co-workers, manipulative leaders, emotionally abusive parents, dominating friends. What makes adult bullies dangerous is subtlety. They don't need fists. They use sarcasm, guilt, intimidation, humiliation, manipulation, exclusion, silence, passive aggression. They bully socially, psychologically, emotionally, and they're good at hiding it. If you want to understand the core of a bully, remember this. A bully does not fear you. A bully fears exposure. Exposure of their insecurity, their emotional wounds, their need for control, their lack of self-worth. A bully is terrified of being seen because they've spent their whole life pretending.
Not all bullies can be fixed. Some become so attached to their mask that vulnerability feels like death. Empathy feels dangerous. Accountability feels impossible. Control is their only comfort. These types become lifelong aggressors. Their psychology is built around fear of weakness, so they attack it in others. But here's the truth. A bully who refuses to self-reflect is choosing their own suffering, because you can't heal what you won't admit exists. Here is the disturbing paradox. Bullies hurt others to avoid acknowledging their own hurt, but they also crave acceptance, want admiration, fear abandonment, seek belonging. Fear emotional intimacy, envy the peace others have. They destroy the very thing they want most. Connection. Section 11. The unexpected power of understanding. Understanding a bully does not mean forgiving them. It means reclaiming your power. Because once you understand their psychology, you stop personalizing their behavior. You stop feeding their control. You stop being intimidated. You stop feeling inferior. You stop playing into their emotional trap. Knowledge is disarmament. A bully cannot dominate someone who sees through them. Here's the truth nobody ever told you. A bully is not powerful. A bully is exposed. They expose their insecurities, their emotional wounds, their lack of inner peace, their need for control every time they attack someone else. And the person they attack the most is themselves. In the end, you don't defeat a bully by fighting harder. You defeat a bully by understanding their darkness more deeply than they understand their own. Because once you see the wound behind the aggression, the emptiness behind the confidence, the fear behind the violence, you realize something powerful. A bully is not someone to fear. A bully is someone to finally understand and then walk away from. And that is the dark psychology of a human being who chooses power over peace because they never learned how to choose themselves.